I'm Jose James. I'm a singer-songwriter on Blue Note Records, and the new album is called While You Were Sleeping. So, While You Were Sleeping differs from No Beginning, No End in terms of the sonics. You know, I'm really into the London electronic scene. I really love Fortet and artists like that. So I have a lot of production on this one, a lot of electric guitar, a lot more of an indie rock sound. I got really inspired by seeing Jose Gonzalez's band Junip at a festival. I thought, wow, it's such a cool blend of electronic and live. So I started experimenting with that while I was doing No Beginning, No End, and this is where we're at. So guests on the album, we have Takuya Kuroda, who is one of my favorite trumpet players. I know we were talking about Roy Hargrove. He comes from that school. He's just an amazing trumpet player. He's from Japan. So he plays on Simply Beautiful, which is kind of an unusual thing for a trumpet player to play on a soul, and blow on it, but it worked so well. He's so soulful. And then Becca Stevens, who, for my money, is one of the best singer-songwriters living in New York today. She's on the song she wrote, Dragon, and she plays whirly on that and sings, and she wrote it, and she's just fantastic. This is the biggest band I've ever had, and I'm super excited about it. It sounds great. Chris Bowers is on keys and vocals. He's playing a lot of synth and Rhodes. Richard Spavin, he's the longest running member. He's from London, he's on drums. Solomon Dorsey is on bass, moog, and vocals. And then the two new members are Brad Allen Williams on guitar and vocals, and Talia Billick on vocals. So it's a big production for me. From my early days of a trio to this is major. I think when you write, it's good to get everybody's ideas, but there has to be executive decision, which is me. And somebody has to say, it's done, especially when you're dealing with jazz musicians who can go on forever because they're so brilliant and they always want to keep, messing with it, keep changing it. Why don't we do this? Why don't we do this? Sometimes, as the producer as well, financial producer, I have to say, clock is running, the song is done, go home. I was one of those kids who, my mom had a piano in the house and I never played it. And she was like, all right, I guess you're not interested in music, and got rid of it one day, And I was really late coming to music. I didn't even start singing until I was 14, casually. And I didn't start sort of studying music until I was 17, which is super late for jazz musicians, my pianist has been playing, since he was 6, you know what I mean? So, for me, I got into hip hop before anything else, and everybody else wanted to be a rapper in the 90s, and I sucked. So thankfully that didn't happen. But what happened was I got into, producers like Ali Shaheed Muhammad and Prince Paul, and, you had to read the back and see all the sample clearances, and that's how I learned about people like Roy Ayers and a lot of soul jazz, things like that. So that was really my introduction into jazz music. And once I discovered this whole world, it was so fascinating to me. There's so many artists that I've found out about through Last.fm. Yeah, essential artists, man. Wes Montgomery for jazz, Nina Simone, Billie Holiday, Al Green, Marvin Gaye, Aretha Franklin, for me, Ray Charles is the central figure who came from jazz, met Quincy Jones, and then single-handedly invented R&B. So everything, descends from him, really. Yeah, contemporary artists, you mentioned Robert Glasper, good friend and an amazing musician. But I love Madlib, Pino Palladino. And then artists I love, like James Blake, still huge influence on me. Frank Ocean, Earl Sweatshirt, I love the whole West Coast connection with those guys, Brainfeeder, Flying Lotus, Thundercat, Emily King is really dope. Talia Billick. There's so many, man, it's crazy. I think for a young artist right now, it's super exciting and terrifying. And I know a lot of them, trying to figure out what to do. But I think the coolest thing is the internet, you know, like the power that it gives you, you know, to like really kind of punch through. I think it's still about writing good songs, you know, not really the production, because all that stuff can be changed. I think that young kids don't really think about it like that. Like they can get really caught up in the sound of the music rather than the song. So I think it's just really about taking time to say what you want and experimenting with a lot of different producers, different bands, different colors. I think the hardest thing is letting go, you know, because you usually say, this is the way it's gotta be. And sometimes you have to just say, it's the song that matters, not the production or the direction. I love Last.fm. It feels like a great musical community. You know, people share music, and it was way before, you know, Spotify and all that stuff. It was like a really cool music-based place to go. So, you know, you could see what your friends were listening to, and they put you onto like great new music. So it's really important. What's up, guys? I'm Jose James. Look for me on Last.fm.